Okay, at this time, I'd like to call the September 18th, 2024 meeting of the Kansas City Board of Public Utilities to order. I'd like to welcome all listening or viewing this meeting of the Kansas City Board of Public Utilities, whether in person or through technology. This meeting is being recorded, both video and audio. During the visitors comments section of the agenda, community members who wish to speak to the board will be asked to provide their name, address, and will then have 3 minutes to speak. Members of the public using Zoom that wish to address the board need to use the raise hand feature at the bottom of the application or window to signal that they wish to address the board during the visitor comment section. In addition, there will be a public comment section after the general manager/staff reports. During this section, the public may comment on this evening's presentations. Members of the public connected by phone only need to press *9 to indicate they wish to address the board in the visitors' comments section. Those attending in person should sign up on the sign-up sheet located near the entry to the boardroom. Comments are limited to 3 minutes and should be directed to the board. As these comments are public to the board cautions visitors to not disclose confidential account information or information on an account that is not in their name. Staff will not provide individual account information or history in an open meeting. As always, the public may also email or call the BPU with any concerns. The agenda and presentations may be found on the BPU website, or if you're using Zoom, they will appear on your screen. As a reminder, this is a business meeting of the Board of Directors, and we will conduct the meeting accordingly. The following rules apply to this meeting. Every person in this room will act respectfully towards each other. Personal attacks and accusations toward any person will not be tolerated. State your specific issue to the board only. We will then determine staff's involvement. Attendees shall refrain from side discussion or individual commentary that interferes with speakers or the attendees of this meeting. If side discussion is necessary, please take it outside the boardroom. If any of the rules above are breached during the meeting, that individual is subject to be removed from the boardroom. My name is Tom Groneman, 2nd District and Board President. Other members of our board and staff include William Johnson, General Manager, David Haley, Member at Large, position number 2 and Vice President, Stevie Wake Sr., 1st District and Board Secretary, Brett Parker, 3rd District, Mary Gonzalez, Member at Large, position 1, Rose Mulvaney Henry, Member at Large, position number 3, and Angela Lawson, our Acting Chief Counsel. Please remember to put your phones on silent, and please also be aware that the microphones are very sensitive and can pick up and record comments made anywhere in the room. Before we begin our meeting, please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Roll call. Groneman,
Here.
Haley,
Present.
Wakes,
Here.
Mulvaney Henry,
Here.
Parker,
Here.
Gonzalez.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Before I ask for a motion to approve the agenda for this evening, are there any comments, additions to the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Wait a second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Groneman,
Aye.
Haley.
Aye.
Wakes,
Aye.
Mulvaney Henry,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Before I ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the work session of September 4th, are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of that meeting?
Move to approve.
Wait a second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Roll call. Groneman,
Aye.
Haley.
Aye.
Wakes.
Aye.
Mulvaney Henry,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Before I ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the regular session of September 4th, are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes of regular session.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Groneman.
Aye.
Haley.
Aye.
Wakes.
Aye.
Mulvaney Henry.
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
That motion carries.
Okay, at that time, I'll turn the meeting over to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chris, is there anyone here signed up to speak tonight? Thank you. Rob, is there anyone online wanting to speak tonight?
Yes, sir. Hi, Gorman. I'm going to get down.
All right. Ty, if you could state your name, address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Ty Gorman, Parkwood Boulevard, KCK. Watched the working session and just wanted to say I appreciate the final IRP Integrated Resource Plan report released today, updated in some important ways from the presentations. And the first time we can see it, glad that the public has hopefully until the approval on November, or till the decision on November 4th to look at that report. Want to just take this opportunity to say that I think the last time a lot of people heard from or were given an opportunity to think about the board of the BPU was during the rate hike, where BPU ended up raising rates. I think a lot of the people I talked to say we raised rates 5% on the BPU, while Evergy was held by the KCC down to 1.5%. And the IRP in a lot of states and a lot of municipals and IOUs, a lot of different utilities use that as an opportunity to reach out to the community from the board and ask for feedback, not only on the highly technical elements of the IRP, but maybe on some of the things that the IRP from as presented by Black and Veatch might leave out. To me, that main one is how the utility can and will be and should be helping customers save their energy and also get paid for a variety of services that the customer can provide to the utility over the next over the medium to long term. The clean energy transition gives opportunities, and so do automatic meters and other infrastructure that's already installed, give the ability for the utility to really tap into the demand side of the meter, not just the generation, which is something that, I mean, that the BPU IRP doesn't do. Not BPU's fault. Most IRPs around the country haven't caught up to this yet, but the ability to scale up for the first time services that the customer provides by using power during certain times, having controllable appliances during
You have
certain
30
times.
seconds.
These kinds of things can provide hope for serious bill reduction, and real change in a new era of BPU that this board can help be the one to turn the corner on. So I want to just offer that up as a suggestion to just use this next month as an opportunity to really reach out to the community, get comments back. Is it still the IRP at bpu.com? Is that the only way to comment? How do we all comment? And just reach out to your networks.
That is your time.
Appreciate your time today.
Rob, is there anyone else? Okay.
Excuse me, Bill,
Sure.
and maybe you were going to do this. Can you please answer Mr. Gorman's question on where the public is supposed to issue comment on the IRP?
Oh, yes, I can.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Gorman, after today, we'll start collecting further public comments about the IRP. So, I don't see Andrew in. So, we'll have a discussion tomorrow on how we get that communication out and restart our request for gathering comments from the public, and then We will be bringing those comments back to the board for board consideration prior to any resolution of the IRP plan itself. Is that close to what you're looking for, Rose, or is there any other thing you may want to add to that that I didn't include?
Sorry, I was muted. No, yes.
I was talking to Rose, Ty.
Yeah, I want to make sure that the public knows where to direct their comments, Bill. So
Yeah.
That
Okay.
solves my issue.
Okay, it'll be to the same email address that we had out there before. And we'll make sure we get that information out and make it public. The other thing, if there's no other comments, I'll just briefly comment on, we do engage the public in a number of ways, a variety of ways. What you're gonna hear tonight is kind of an updated My Meter when we get to this section. And since the inception of our smart metering program, probably 12, 13 years ago, we've had a customer-facing portal out there so that everybody can either in one portal or the other see everything about their electric and water usage. And then we're enabling customers to be able to make positive decisions on their side about how they use our product. Okay, and that information has been out there for decades, and we're making improvements with My Meter by pulling everybody into a single application instead of having multiple applications out there. But we do have that public facing information out there. We do present a lot of information back to the public on how they're using our electric service and water service on a rolling interval basis, 15 minutes if they want to drill down that far on the electric side and hourly on the water side. And with that, they can certainly gather a lot of information and make a lot of decisions based on how they're using our products. I'll now move into the general manager staff reports, and the first thing up is our My Meter update.
Thanks, Robert. Thank you for the introduction, Bill. We're going to be talking about simplifying the customer experience using the My Meter portal. This whole effort that we've done over the last couple of years has been making it easy to use, easy to understand, easy for customers to communicate. So that project was the meter data management project. But when we did that project, we enabled a new customer portal. So I'm going to cover just one slide, tell you where we've been in the last 5 months. Then I'm going to hand it over to Robert to talk about the advanced metering infrastructure that we have, AMI meters, that ties into the project that we did. Then he'll give a demonstration of the latest.
Jerry, can you quickly identify yourself so that the public can
Please.
understand who's speaking?
Yes, my name is Jerry Sullivan. I'm the Chief Information Officer in charge of technology here at BPU. Very happy to be here. Thank you. Okay, so with that as an intro, what a difference in 5 months we've done. So in April of 24, we were still on the old meter data management system, and we had the old customer portal. So I'm going to go from left to right in this diagram. And then now we've got a new meter data management and a new My Meter portal, new customer portal. On the left, the licensing and support costs for the old system were prohibitive. On-premise solution, it was costly, difficult to maintain. I noticed when I first got here, it had some issues. So we had an opportunity working with Bill and the whole team here. We decided to embark across a new meter data management system. So we're going to go with a new portal. And when we did the project, we chose 2 systems, One came with the other, so it was a good fit. So on the right, we implemented two systems, both low cost. They were high value that also includes with it automatic upgrading of the system. The difficulties in most technologies, when one system connects to all the others, if you upgrade one system, you have to do all the integrations for it. Luckily, we've got a great integration team that does that, but we now have it software as a service in the cloud, both applications. So the upgrades are automatic. So it's a lower total cost of ownership for our customers. On the left, number two, the functionality of the meter data management system we had was limited. It's a 12-year-old, 13-year-old technology, almost like your flip phones from before. It was limited for both customers and our staff to do the analysis needed. Customers to do the analysis and for our own staff to do the analysis on all of the meters out in the field with the voltage, temperatures, theft of service. It's a whole lot of analytics it provides. So the new system, including the My Meter portal, we had over 300 requirements that our team came up with customer service, electric and water operations, came up with 300 demands we had when we sent out the proposal. It met all of those requirements. On the left, number three, the old portal was clunky. That's how I would describe it. It was hard to use. So our customers required more. They're used to more user-friendly systems. On the right, you'll see with Robert's demonstration of it, it's more user-friendly for both our staff and customers. All the other portals we looked at, residential customers would have one system, industrial would have another, very complex. This is all in one system. Number four, cumbersome products. So we moved to a new system that includes now, just a couple days ago, we've enabled a feature called Start, Stop, and Move. Here we call it Start, Stop, Transfer within the territory. For a customer who wants to start service, they want to stop service, or they want to transfer within the territory. So there's complications with that, with deposits, address changes, dates. So now this is a very robust self-service tool that provides more self-service experience, which I think our customers are demanding. Finally, in my overall summary here, we implemented two systems in the last 5 months, including the functionality for Start, Stop, and Move. So it's an easy to use, and our customers, I think, will be very happy with it. So we'll demonstrate it here so you'll see for yourself. Robert?
Good evening, board. My name is Robert Camp, and I'm over the project delivery and project management office as part of the IT department here at BPU. So to get started, I want to kind of take a step back first and discuss what is AMI, and then we'll discuss how the new MDM and the new customer portal fit into the AMI architecture in order to better serve our customers. So as you can see on the image on the right, and this is a very simplified 60,000 foot image, but it gets us what we need to have this discussion. So up in the top left-hand quadrant is the customer meters, right? They have water and electric meters that communicate over a wireless mesh network back to our network, which is in the top right-hand corner of the picture. That flows over our internal wide area network and onto our backhaul network, and then flows into the utility itself. In the bottom right-hand quadrant, you'll see the MDM Oracle MDM system. That is cloud-based now. So after communicating over our network, it goes into the Oracle Cloud and gets stored into the MDM. And then that data is sent over to My Meter, which is also a cloud application, and gets into the customer portal, and that's in the bottom left-hand quadrant. And that's how customers can actually log in and see their usage, pay their bill, submit start-stop transfers, or do any other account activity like that. So these two features that we deployed in April for the new MDM and the new portal are about half of the overall AMI infrastructure, but it is all about the part that the customer actually gets to see and interact with. But the important things to remember is that the MDM is the system of record, and that's the back-end system that the employees use, that the BPU uses to look at meter data. And then the portal is frontward facing where the customers can access it, and it's how the customers interact with that same information. Okay, so it's just two halves of the same part. Any questions on that before I move on? Excellent. I do want to point out one other thing on this slide. Sorry, I moved off it a little quick. We do still have two portals, one for prepaid customers and one for postpaid customers. Because of the way that contract of service works, they can only have one active at a time. So when you sign up for prepaid, then your account accesses through My Usage. If you are a postpaid customer, then your account is accessible through My Meter. And if you switch between the two, then it switches when you switch. Any questions on that? Okay. So this is a standard slide that we use in the PMO to talk about project status, and we update it throughout the entire length. The key dates here are that we went live on 4/29. I thought it was actually 4/19. Either my memory's wrong or my slide's wrong, one of the two. But we had some issues with start-stop transfer in the way documents were being sent back to the utility. So we were not able to take the start-stop transfer module live at the same time. We went ahead and stuck with our go live for the MDM and portal overall because the benefit to the customer was deemed to be worth the effort, and held the start-stop transfer over for a future release, which Jerry had mentioned. We completed that on Monday, and start-stop transfer is now live within the MDM or within the My Meter portal. As far as everything else goes, the key dates, everything with the project is completed. We do still have some managed services and some support and enhancement requests that we are tracking externally to the project itself. That's a very common thing in IT project management, and we will continue to work on getting all of those addressed. My Meter has been fantastic to work for. So our two former portals were MV Web, which is an Itron product, and that was for CNI customers. And then we had Kayenta Customer Self-Service, or the CSS service, and that was for residential customers. So one of the benefits of My Meter is now commercial, industrial, and residential customers are all in the same portal. So that makes us supporting them easier and their access to their data equal across all classes. And then it also, within CSS, we served up a page from Energy Engage, which is a Siemens product, in order for them to get access to their actual usage and interval data. So by getting rid of those three systems and going down to a single one, we've greatly reduced our overhead and our maintenance and support costs for keeping those systems updated. And then like Jerry mentioned, because My Meter is a cloud application, we get those updates automatically, and we don't have to schedule a downtime and upgrade and patch cycle in order to keep the system updated, which will serve us as far as serving our customers and making sure that we stay in line with security and compliance requirements. Any questions before I move on? So start-stop transfer, I'm going to switch over real quick and do a demo of the portal itself, just to show you how easy it is to come in and do a start-stop transfer. And I'm happy to go through if you guys have any questions or would like to see anything else in the portal. We've set up this account as a kind of a John Doe account so that we're not giving away any private information. This is what they would see after they would log in, right? Customers would not see the blue header across the top for the impersonate mode. That's just because I'm a staff member and I'm logged in on the admin side. So just looking over the portal very quickly, they've got their account and their address information up here in the top left-hand corner. These next 4 blocks are called widgets, and they are defaulted to this layout for any new customer. Customers can come in here and grab these and go to the gear icon and make changes if they would like to see other widgets. But we decided that those 4 were the 4 that were most likely to be beneficial. If you click on any of those gears, you can see what all widgets are out there for them to use. And they range from overall usage to what their bill amount is, daily consumption, usage, and billing totals. And then some of the features that are under the other category are tracking changes in your home. That's the ability to add markers on your usage data. So if you say on the 1st of October, I decided to install LED lights or a more energy efficient refrigerator, I could come and add a note in my meter myself by setting a marker on my usage data. And then I can use that to help me remember in the future when that fridge was installed and when I expected the savings to start happening, and actually compare to see if I got those savings that I was expecting, right? So it's a really powerful tool. Next up is to see how you compare to other similar residences in your area. So there's the ability to go in and do a property profile where you list the size and equipment and load that you have for your home, as far as number of air conditioners, number of refrigerators, whether or not you have solar, whether or not you have an electric car that needs to charge, right? You can put all of that into your property profile, and as that data gets built up, users will be able to compare themselves, not with specific data, but with generalized data for their area, to figure out how they compare for their electrical consumption usage and billing in their area. Next is be informed to save money. These are different tips and tricks that customers can do as far as doing things like an energy audit, or increasing the level of insulation in their attic, or replacing their windows in order to get their consumption down. Configure your view just kind of walks you through how to make changes within MyMeter itself. And then the star of tonight's show, which is never do a live demo. Start, stop, transfer. I think it's because you deassociated your email account so that we didn't share it out. Forgive me, it's no longer showing up as registered though. So it's okay, I'll flip over to my account and do it here. So start, stop, transfer. We'll pull it up here. They've got the option to start, transfer, or stop service. Either of these is just a series of 4 to 5 screens where they need to come in and answer the questions. So to start service, I just need to come in and pick a date. We did have holidays and weekends suppressed to make it a little bit easier for our customers. That was one of the recommendations that come from customer service. Throughout this entire implementation project, customer service has done a fantastic job of working very closely with IT and representing the wants and needs and concerns of the customers to make sure that we address them. And a lot of that is making sure that the user interface is as easy to understand as possible, that we're giving on-screen instructions when needed. So I want to say a huge thank you to the customer service group for participating in our project and making it as successful as it was. So once you've selected your date, you will come into a search for house number. We specifically did this for a data quality control to make sure that customers weren't typing in just any address that would then get dumped into our system without any kind of verification. So what we have them do is we have them look up a specific address by house number and zip code only. And once they do that, then it pulls the addresses that exist within our system, and they can come down here and select one of the addresses that already exist in our system. That does require that if the address doesn't appear, then they will have to contact customer service by phone because the address isn't available for them to select. They then answer ownership status, whether they rent or own, and add any comments that may be needed. There's quite a bit of instructions here on this 4th page, and I do have requests to add some kind of rich text formatting that's currently not an option in the portal. But we do have the enhancement request in with MyMeter to get that added for future activity. They select next. They can select whether the mailing address is going to be the same or different. I'm just going to go with the same. And then they enter in their information here. They have the option to add an authorized user or secondary users on the account here. I'm not doing any of that. Then they get a chance to confirm and upload any documents. So for renters, we would want to see your lease agreement, and every adult that's in the house needs to be listed on the lease agreement in order to be listed on the account. For homeowners, it is the deed of purchase or the purchase agreement. Once they've gone through and selected their documents, which I don't know what documents I'm actually going to have to upload here, so they're getting that.
Could you repeat that because we heard something in the work session that wasn't exactly in sync with that in terms of account holders. Everyone that's in the household would be listed. We just read a.
Yeah,
work
I'm
session.
just pulling Gabby up because I'm referencing what the customer service policy says, or what I remember it saying versus what the actual policy
So
is.
they do have to be listed on the lease agreement to be added onto the account initially, unless they want to add someone later, but whoever's listed on the lease agreement that's 18 years of age or older will be on the BPU account.
There's not one account holder necessarily per household. I misunderstood. I may have.
Oh, there's an
misunderstood
account
that.
holder and then it's the secondary account holders.
It's the listing of the secondaries that we're talking about. But everybody listed on the account needs to be on the lease.
I'm a little blurry on that. I'll pick it. It'll come to me later.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Account holder then secondaries.
So once they've had a chance to review this and they upload their documents, they can then hit submit. If at any point they miss a field or they don't attach any documents, then it will fail. And that's just an internal control. We then let them know that it will take up to 2 days to process. Now, I don't believe I will be able to complete another one, but I can at least walk through the screens with you. So for transfer service, it's very much the same, although I obviously need to stop service at one location and move it to another. And then I need to say what I need to still look for the home address. State whether I rent or own. If you rent, it does ask you to fill in some information from your lease agreement. If the applicant doesn't know that information, then we do give them the instruction to go ahead and click own just so they can get the request submitted, and we will follow up for that additional information on our own. And you need to set a connection date, and that was form validation working for me. I then need to set where I want the final bill moved to or mailed to. Then fill out all the same information. Still have the option to add additional users or secondaries. And I will still come in and attach the documents, review everything to make sure that it is accurate and it's what I want. And then I can hit submit. Now I expect it to fail here since I just did a start service. No, it did accept it. Great. And then lastly, stop service is even more simplified. It is literally just what day you want it to end, what the new address for what the new mailing address needs to be. And once again, review and submit. Failed because I have already submitted one. And that's it for start stop transfer. Now, quickly, I could go over the consumption, usage, and billing information if that would be beneficial. It has been several months since I've done a demo of the portal.
So either for you or Gabby, once the customer completes either start, stop, or transfer, and then hit submit, what happens behind the scenes at that point?
So I'm gonna let Gabby take over the process for what happens after once they submit.
And if that's in your presentation later, Gabby, I can.
Oh, come on up.
What is it that we're looking at as far as this graph?
Let me go back over to a generalized one so that it's not my personal information that we're transmitting. So what you're looking at in this particular graph is the daily kilowatt consumption. And that's controlled by these two drop-down menus up here. So you can look at consumption or the dollar amount, and the options you have here are 15, 30 hour, daily, weekly, or billing. Billing aligns with your bill cycle. Everything else is a time-based measurement. And when you go to the dollar amount, then I believe it's the same options, yeah. So you can just see what your billed amounts were for each month. Do you want to handle Bill's question?
Yes.
When I went on this afternoon, just to kind of play with it, play on it, I just signed in. I had all kinds of lines that looked like my 3-year-old great granddaughter squiggled, and it was red lines and green lines and blue lines. What were all the different?
So I think you were probably looking at something more attuned to this.
It was like the initial bar graph, but it had like 3 different colored lines.
So that sounds like consumption, and you were probably doing daily.
That
Yeah.
that was
Like that.
it.
So the graph, each of these bar charts is your consumption or the amount your bill is for that day, the amount of usage that you had for that day. So your consumption times the rate. And then each of these line graphs are set down here by these 4 options for overlays. And they're just to give you some information to make it easier to understand why your consumption is what it is for any given day. So we can do high and low temperature, heating degree days, cooling degree days, average temperature, participation, humidity, solar radiation, or comparison to last week or last year or previous bill. And so it's just tools to help the user analyze their bill and get more information out of it. Obviously, none of it is required. I think the default is the average temperature. The green line shows up, and the rest of these are defaulted to off. But if you've gone in there and played with it, it does remember what your last settings were the last time you were in there, and that's what it will show you.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So for those that are getting high bills, it gives you all the tools to be able to better understand why your usage is spiking. Either it's something going on with the weather or something going on with the users in your house. And I think this is part of what I communicated earlier is, we have been providing similar information to the public for well over a decade, even though it's getting better and it's gotten better. People are armed with information that they can use for themselves if they want to know what they're doing throughout the day. If they want to lower their energy or water usage, they have the tools to be able to determine what's going on within their home.
It's also a great tool to be able to validate getting, right? So say I had an energy audit done by, instead of BPU, I had an outside agency do it here in the county. And they told me that I didn't have enough insulation. Then I should see my usage track temperature very closely, right? Where if the actual problem that I have are very inefficient electrical products, right, that are consuming a lot of power constantly, regardless of what the temperature is outside, then I'm getting bad information, and adding insulation to my home will not help me lower my bill. What will help me lower my bill is replacing those appliances, right? So it's a great way for them to verify the information that they're getting. Is that actually what's showing up on my BPU bill?
BPU still does audits for free?
I believe we still do energy audits. I don't think there's a cost associated, but I would defer that to somebody who knows more. Patrice, do you mind coming up here to the microphone?
far as our free energy audit, that program is no longer around, so we're not offering free energy audits, but we are working with Habitat to do energy audits for customers that have low to no income customers. So we're working with Habitat on that kind of program.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah, yes.
How did they, I mean, there are other entities, not with too great a detail, but there are some others that may be more on point. Former board member of Habitat, I think it's a great organization, but
Well, based on the kind of program that we were trying to roll out, they had everything in place. So it was just easier for us to use them. It's on a contract base. I think it ends at the end of this year, but we went out and talked to several other companies, and they were the only ones that pretty much could work with what we needed to have done and quickly.
approximately how many do you anticipate that they'll do? Approximately how many do you think that they'll?
We're
They'll be able to
hoping
do.
through, just based on the budget, probably about 60 homes.
All right, before the end of this year, is that
Yes,
what it
that's the
is?
plan.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Rob, I was wondering if there's some way the utility tracks how many people are looking at like certain widgets. I mean, I know we'd know start, stop and transfer, but is there any way that we would know that there's a certain part of my meter that's more useful than others or more people are interested in?
Yes, so both MyMeter monitors that traffic in their application so that they can better advise their customers which widgets are finding the most usefulness. And then as an admin user within the utility, I have access to certain dashboards that give me an indication of how many active users, how many active daily users, how often they're logging in, and what actions they're taking while they're in there. And then all of the CSR admins have the ability to go in and look at the logs on each account and see what login and activity has occurred on that account in the history.
Okay, thanks.
So that was the electric that we reviewed. Up here in the top left-hand corner of the graph, you can choose unmetered, which is the UG, sewer, stormwater, those kinds of activities. Your water usage, which is pretty self-explanatory. And then your overall monthly billing amounts or daily billing amounts up in this top left-hand corner. We still have the option up here underneath the account in the top left-hand corner to switch over to the data. So you can see the data and you can also come over here to the download option and download the data into CSV, which is an Excel spreadsheet type format, or the green button option, which is a data extract tool. You can reorder the columns and headers that you want within your data download. So that access is still there. And then up here next to data, clicking on property, this is where you would come in and set up your property profile and enter in all of your information for your particular situation on your usage. I don't want to spend a half an hour just doing this, so I want to, was there anything else you wanted me to make sure I touched on?
I was gonna show them the old.
Okay, I'll let you do that. Any other questions on MyMeter before I I wanted to make sure that I also covered for the mobile application, the iOS app, for Apple is released in the Apple Store. The Google app has not been released yet. Google has some objections to our privacy policy that's posted on our website. We're working to get those resolved. Until I get those resolved by Google, I can't get an approval to release the app. So as soon as we have those resolved, I should be able to announce the Google application going live soon, but I don't have a specific date. But
Everybody should have a real phone.
I'm an Apple user, so I can't say things like that or people come after me with pitchforks. For iOS users who do want to log into the Apple App Store and find our app, need to search for KCBPU, and they'll get the link for downloading our MyMeter app. Within the mobile app, it shows all of the same graphs and usage as the portal, the web-based portal does, and also allows them to go in and make payments and set up scheduled and automatic payments, which I believe Gabby's going to touch on those as well. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So with that, I want to say thank you for your time tonight. I'm going to hand over to Gabby with Customer Services, and she will complete.
Thank you.
I'll let you drive this and then ready to switch the presentation. I'll switch it.
Okay, thanks. Hi, good evening, everybody. So I just want to answer Bill's question. If a customer submits a request to start, stop, or transfer service, what they're going to expect after that is they'll immediately get an email to the address that they have registered with MyMeter, letting them know that we received their order for whichever option they chose. And then if it is to start or transfer service, they will receive a follow-up email once it's been completed, letting them know what the account number is. If they have a deposit, it reminds me of the $75 service fee, and that they can sign up for ACH if it's a residential account to have the service fee waived. And then it'll also let them know that they can go online to sign up for MyMeter. So the tools I want to touch on in MyMeter, as Rob said, or Bill said, it'll help customers control their utilities. So we have a feature on here for alerts, where customers can sign up for a new bill alert, a past due reminder, due date reminder, or schedule a payment reminder. Something maybe the customers can use to help control their usage is a threshold on that. So say, for example, the customer, if you go click for the electric usage and you want to goes over this amount, they will notify you via text or email yes, to let you know if you've gone over the amount. So I could say, if I go over $40 weekly, and if you choose the dollar amount, it will show you what your average is, so you can figure, I'm right now at 30, or this person's right now at 32.83 a week. So if I don't want to go over that, I can put 40 and choose in a week. And then I can select to put my phone number. I would pick my provider and then enter in my number. Save the changes. Sorry. Do my email address.
Yahoo.
Yes. So there it has on here, if you set any type of reminder, it'll show it listed on your account. So I have a new bill reminder, and then I have a one for a usage threshold. If you ever want to get rid of it, it's simple enough. You just hit edit and delete, and then it'll ask you if you want to remove it, and you say yes, and then the reminder's gone. So the ease of use for the customer to remove things is pretty simple with this. We also have on View Pay Bill. From this page, the customer can enroll in paperless billing. And again, it's ease of use. Click the button to enroll. And Rob, can you get rid of that? So they could see yeah, sorry.
No.
Okay. So then it says, do you want to make this change? And by clicking yes, you'll receive your next bill in the mail electronically. So you can select yes. Can I log in as myself? Okay. Sorry. So going back to View Pay Bill, if you click to enroll in paperless billing, it'll show that you have that communication selected. If you want to unenroll, again, with ease of use, you just click on the bill delivery, and I can click return to paper billing, select the account and update it. And the account has been removed from paperless billing. Once I set up paperless billing, I would have received an email that it was set up. And once I stopped it, I would get an email that it has been stopped. If a customer wants to set up automatic payments, they can click on the auto pay button, and they will, the account that they want to set up. Customers can have multiple accounts on this also. So say there's a landlord or a property manager, it'll list all their accounts. So that's why it gives you the option to select. You can select whichever account you want to set up the options for. So if I want to enroll this account in paper and automatic payments, I'll select next. You have the option to do it with a credit card or a bank account. So the customer would just put in their information and they can pay the bill amount due, or they can do a fixed amount. They can pay on the bill due date, or they can select a day of the month that they want to make the payment. And then once they select OK, that information will save. And under this box, it'll show that they're enrolled in automatic payment and the last 4 digits of the account number that they set up the payments for. And then the last page I'm going to show you is under user profile. So here, this would be helpful in a roommate situation. So when customers set up My Meter, it does have to be set up with the primary account holder's information. So if it's a roommate situation, you may not want them to have your login or your date of birth or anything that you need to register. So you have the option to add additional users. So you can select connect a user, and you can select what information you want them to be able to see. If you only want them to have availability to it for a certain amount of days, you can collect or select one of these, or you can select note and date. You would add their email address in twice, select the account, and then once you hit continue, that person will get an email to let them know they can log in, and they would log in with their own password and username. And then they could view the account also. Then another feature that we suggest to customers, we suggest it to customers that are management companies. So they may manage accounts for several different landlords. So they're not all gonna be able to view them under one view at once. They do have the option to add them. So if they want to add additional accounts, they would just put the name on the account, the registration code, and then the account number, and then they'll be able to view all the accounts at once. Do you guys have? Yes. Oh, I was gonna say, do you have any questions?
To that, the syncing.
Mm-hmm.
of it,
Yes.
yes.
But then I do it at the same time, but you're just able to stream it all at the same time.
See if this, then that change to this system,
Mhm.
would they then be able to contemplate syncing the individual accounts or possibly like this stormwater? The issue comes
Yes,
up
yes,
with
they can
stormwater.
sync. Yes,
They
so
have to
say,
pick a date
yes,
certain,
so they
because as
can,
you know now, it fluctuates. The
Yes.
date does fluctuate for every account holder.
Yes.
So it'd be great to know which day every month an individual account or multiple accounts might be doing, just the way the is that ever possible? How many, how many billing cycles does the average account have a year?
well, we bill 12, it's 12 times that we get billed a year. Yeah, 12.
It's 12, not 13.
No,
Okay, all right, so that makes it easier still if it's the same day every year. I mean, every month, the same day, if that could be reached for all accounts, including stormwater. If that's, would that ever be perceivably
so
possible?
we
Would that
are
be-
looking into different options for customers. I will say, so they can link the stormwater account to their BPU account. Like if I had an account that was stormwater only, I could link it here. And then if I had multiple accounts, if you select this pay bill option, then you can select which accounts you want to pay on which day. So it does give you the opportunity to pay more than one account at once. It'll give you a subtotal at the bottom, so you know how much you're making the payment for, and then you can go ahead and proceed and process the payment. But we are looking into other options for customers on what they can do as far as the billing cycle. and
Let
due
me,
dates.
let me add to that. I mean, there's things we've talked about, packaging up different things. What we don't want to do is come out too early and start setting expectations. We want to make sure that we could follow up and deliver on some of the things that we're at least looking at right now. And want to make sure that we run that test as thoroughly as we can to make sure it's going to work. Because what we don't want to do is roll out something to where we're introducing a lot of problems for the community. And now we're trying to address that, after the fact. So there's things yet to come. We've been, thinking about how we can position different type programs for customers, but we're just not ready to communicate that just yet. So just bear with us, be a little bit patient with us.
You guys have any other questions over my meter? Yep, please.
So you ready to roll into the next?
Yes.
Okay.
And then this will work back.
Thank you.
And this is the next topic on the
Yes.
agenda.
So this is the next topic on the agenda. It's a customer service experience. So today I'm just going to share with you some information on how to navigate through our IVR and then future enhancements that we're going to make with the IVR. So first, I just want to start out letting you know that the number to customer service, if a customer needs to call in, is 913-573-9190, and they can speak to a live agent Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our customer service team handles a variety of calls. Some of the most frequent call types are billing questions, My Meter assistance, and FlexPay inquiries. When customers call in, the representatives ask questions to identify the needs of the customers and will offer them the options that best suit their needs. The IVR stands for the Interactive Voice Response, and currently our IVR allows customers to access self-service options via touch tone keypad without speaking to a live agent. The self-service options are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when a customer is connected to the BPU IVR, they're offered the option to access our self-service menu, get information on how to stop, start, or transfer service. They can be transferred to the outage line to report an electrical or a water issue, or they can speak to a customer service representative for personal assistance. If a customer wants to speak to a customer service representative, they would need to select option 7 from the call menu, and that will get them connected to customer service. The IVR self-service options, an important thing to note is that the customer will need their account number or phone number associated with the account to use the self-service menu. In the self-service menu, customers can get their account balance, the due date of the bill, they can make a payment on their account and get kiosk locations. They can also check to see if they're eligible for disconnect, and they have the option to be transferred to the payment arrangement line. Okay, some recent changes we made. We recently added information out front to make customers aware of the options they have to set up an in-person appointment. And we also added that information to the customer service IVR. So if a customer were to call into the IVR, they can select option 8 and be transferred over to set up an in-person appointment by phone. Okay, and looking ahead, so as they touched, I know Abby spoke about it at the last board meeting, customer service and IT are working together to implement a new IVR system. And some enhancements that we're looking to add is one is a voice response system. So as I mentioned before, we currently have a touch tone system. With the voice response system, this would allow the customer to speak their responses and state what they need versus listening to the call menu. We also want to initiate phone number recognition. So when the customer calls in, the system will recognize the phone number that they're calling from and they'll associate it with their account. And this will eliminate the step of the customer having to enter their phone number or their account number to gain access to the self-service menu. We're also looking to add predictive intent. So this is where the phone system can determine what the customer needs based on the user history, where the IVR can predict the user intent. So for example, if I call frequently into the 9190 number to get my account balance, the IVR would recognize that and it would just ask me, would you like to know your account balance, without me having to say that. We're also going to add a Spanish IVR. We currently do not have any self-service options for our Spanish customers. And if we do not have a Spanish representative available, it has to go to voicemail and then we have to call them back. So the Spanish IVR would provide customers a better experience on receiving account information without having to wait for that callback. And lastly, this is something I'm excited about. We're looking to incorporate a language line. I know we focus a lot on the Spanish customers, but we do have a lot of other dialects and languages in our county. So say, for example, we have a customer that calls in and they speak Burmese. We'd be able to call the language line and let them know we need a translator for a Burmese customer. The translator would come on the line and then we'd be able to assist that customer. Adding the language line will give us the opportunity to engage with more of the customers in our community. My hope is that we could extend this service to other departments and then also to the field workers in the utility. So we are working on providing more services online and by phone so the customer doesn't have to come in or call and wait on hold. We want to make connecting with BPU and working with BPU easy for the customers and provide a positive ongoing customer experience. You guys have any questions?
And I think you've already hit on this. A lot of this information is available 24/7.
Mhm.
Customers can interact with BPU, not just doing BPU work hours, but on a 24-hour rolling basis, right?
Yes.
Any questions from the board?
Question. We're good.
Okay.
Thank you. Information.
All right. So hopefully, the board can see we're listening to customers. We're trying to move to where customers are and meet them where they are. Move away from yesterday's practice to what people are asking for today and tomorrow. And hopefully that's apparent in all that we're trying to do. But also it's important for us to continue to engage with all customer groups, all age groups, and that's not lost on them. Moving on into miscellaneous comments, I only have one thing that I want to talk about, and I'll ask Patrice Townsend to come up to the podium. So Patrice talked earlier, I know, about energy audits, and we're going to try to get some of those done, and that's probably something we'll be looking at moving forward too. But reason I asked Patrice to come up is Patrice will be entering into a different phase in her career, a different phase in her life. So she will be retiring, and I do think it's important for us to recognize this, especially for somebody that's as tenured as Patrice. There's not too many people close to me in terms of years of service, but Patrice has over 40 years of working at BP, about 40 and a half, 40 and 7 months, if I'm accurate. It's a long history. The board, this board, previous boards have gotten to know Patrice quite well. She's done a lot for our utility. People in the community knows Patrice. She's been very active when working in the community, supporting BPU efforts in the community. The other day at Wynot Economic Development, we talked about part of her service and contributions to the community. I didn't want her to leave without at least acknowledging some of her work here at BPU while she's still here before she does leave. But Patrice, I thank you for your service and all that you've done. I know you worked in different departments over your career. I wrote down 4. I may be off 1 or 2, but I'll just turn the rest of my time over to you for any comments that you want to make.
Well, thank you, Bill. I appreciate those kind words and the acknowledgement. I really do appreciate it. I'm just blessed and grateful to have had the opportunity to be here 4 decades. That's a lot. So it's been a privilege for me to work here and serve the community, assisting customers with energy efficiency programs and services over the years. That has been a passion of mine. And I just want to thank all the board members I have met over those years and managers and, my coworkers here and a lot of people that are no longer here, but it's been a good run and I'm thankful and I appreciate everybody's support and I'm on to retirement.
Wow.
So thank you all and thank you.
Happy retirement, Patrice. Mr. President, I think, now I'll turn it over to the public to see if there's any comments anyone here or online wants to make about tonight's agenda. You come up, state your name, address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Good evening, board. My name is Dr. Hall. I live in Kansas City, Kansas. So I have tons of questions on customer service. That's why I'm here. So I'm glad that we have a lot of improvements. Thank you for adding the languages in Spanish. My concerns are with the technology being moved or getting it more along. What are your educational projects or processes that you're going to have with the diverse community that you have, especially new Americans like mine, and or some of our older age technology challenged people that we have in our community? What are those plans that you're foreseeing? Also, last time I was in a commissioners meeting at the UG, there was a comment that the customer service was going to be open for the community, and I'm wondering what are those plans? Along with those lines, I'm also asking about the additional moves that you're having to implement when you're gonna add the additional people that live there. Several times that I have come in to advocate with several of the community members is that we have several members that live in those houses and like mom wants to have the son take over the bill. Is that gonna be an additional expense when transferring the meter? Is that gonna be still there, or is once the person is added and that living in there, is that gonna be okay? Can those people bounce back and forth with the ownership of the bill or the whatever we call that? I know I'm throwing you a lot of questions, but I have to be prepared when the advocacy comes around because I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. And then the other question that I have also is, thank you for opening the 7 to 6. That helps a lot. But I still know that there is there's nothing better than customer service face to face. So I'm advocating for that, especially for people like my mom or other families that I have. What are those? I'm gonna still push for that. What are those plans? And if that's gonna happen, how soon can we share that information? Did I
Okay.
throw a lot?
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll be happy to answer what I can remember from that list.
Oh, don't worry, I have them all
Okay,
listed. So if you need me to rephrase it, I will throw
No,
it back
that's
at
okay.
you.
That's okay. I think your time is about,
It's almost,
Oh.
the time is about up.
yeah.
A few seconds
Is
left.
there anyone, and I'll answer those. Is there anyone else wanted to speak before? Okay, so I think, tonight and before your time is up, so you can sit down. I'll answer your question. So you talked about, you saw tonight, here's more and more ways that we are communicating with the public and opening ourselves up to the public. If somebody wants to have an in-person visit, just simply call us and let us know. I mean, we've said that, it used to be by going on the website, and now we got a phone number that's out there. If you want to just call the number and say, hey, I want to come in, set an appointment, we'll be happy to meet with you. So that is a in-person, face-to-face meeting. In terms of people moving around, and Gabby, I don't know if you can help with this. I'm just simply answering questions from the public at this point. So I think if somebody else is in the house, as long as we got all the information from them, we
I'll
can.
say, so that's our current process now. If there's more than one person on the account and one of the people is gonna leave and we need to put another person's name, we will. And if they're already listed on the account, we don't charge any fees to transfer the service because it's just a name change. So there's no fees associated with
Okay.
that.
We do have a new addition to our communications team coming in next week. And I would be happy to get with that person, and Abby, I'm sure, is already working with that individual on how we can spread our communication, our messages out to a diverse community. It's important that we are able to contact and communicate with all of our communities. So look for some new thoughts, some new ideas to go into some of that communication. So I'm excited to look at how creative we can get in that arena. So thank you for your questions.
My question would be, do we have a tutorial on that My Meter page that we're on YouTube or somewhere? Because I know that I was playing around in there today. I learned a lot tonight. Just listening, but I would have been lost without,
Well, I know that we have a series of YouTube videos. I don't know if we've developed anything for My Meter yet.
So, sorry,
Nick.
for My Meter, we are
Nick.
in the process.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Nick Moreno, Communications. So for My Meter, we're in the ending stages of getting that video finalized. We're waiting for some of the newer features to come out before we put all that video out. So that should be out within the next month, and we'll keep that and push it out to the public and everything. And that'll be pretty all-inclusive of everything that we covered, and it'll give a really good overview. We'll be able to create timestamps to direct people directly to what they need in the video. So whether that be signing up for service or just simply learning how to log in. So it's going to be a pretty all-inclusive video that I've seen the first draft of, and it's pretty cool. So
Is it in both English and Spanish, or just English?
currently just in English, and we'll have the translation subtitles available for Spanish and other languages as well.
Great, thank you.
Rob, is there anyone online? All right. Mr. President, I'll turn it back over to you at this
Okay.
point.
board comments. Rose, do you have any comments?
The only comment I have this evening, Mr. President, well, I got two, I guess. Thank you guys for the presentations tonight. But I wanted to wish Patrice a very happy retirement. I know I have been on the board a very short period of time, just a little tiny fraction of your entire BPU career, but you've been incredibly helpful, to me as I've been on this board, and and certainly all of the community engagement efforts that you've done, including assisting us with our community engagement committee. Really appreciate all your efforts with that and all the efforts you've taken. I can't imagine working in one place for 40 plus years. So kudos to you for doing that, but happy retirement, well deserved. Thank you.
I want to pretty much echo Rose's comments. Thank you for all the whole My Meter experience. I'll have to play around with it to try to figure it all out. So Rob and Gabby and Jerry, I appreciate that. And I also want to recognize you, Patrice. Patrice is somebody that if you go to the Women's Chamber or you go to WYEDC or you're just out and about, you always run into Patrice because she's that involved in a lot of things in the community. One thing I would like to say about Patrice is she'll just take over if we need something done, and which she did during COVID, helping people get signed up for the rental assistance and the utility assistance. Just going in person to the library, being there to help people. There's not a lot of people that would take the time and the effort to do that. So I really appreciate you going that extra mile. And happy retirement.
Brett?
I certainly echo a lot of those comments. Patrice, we really appreciate your service to BPU and to the community. Thank you to the staff for all the updates on customer service. I'm also, like everyone else, just digging into My Meter, but enjoying learning my way through there. And tonight's presentation was very helpful. Thank you.
Mr. Wakes?
Thank you. Again, echoing the sentiments, Patrice, we really hate to see you go. I just getting here and you're leaving, but certainly appreciate how much of an asset you are, not just to BPU, but to our community, Kansas City community. Amen. Most people around here know you very well and really appreciate the work that you do within the community. And so thank you so much and happy retirement. To Jerry and to Rob and to I want to say Gabrielle. Thank you so much for your presentations on tonight. I really appreciate it. And then it's also good to see our new compliance person with us tonight. Good to have seen you now more actively involved in what we're going to be doing. We'll be looking to hear from you soon. But the My Meter is an awesome asset to BPU and to customer service. All the customer service things that you guys are doing is really pleasing to me to see the efforts you're making toward our customers, because that's really the bottom line. They are our main stakeholders, and certainly to see those efforts being made I think it's really highlighting the great work that we do at BPU. So thank you so much.
Senator?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to say ditto, really, first and foremost, Patrice Townsend. I mean, there's a fabric or a culture from within our utility that oftentimes seems cloistered and distant from the general public that we serve and what we do. And you have almost seamlessly been able to thread that needle well, being involved in and around this Kansas City, Kansas, and certainly being a steward of your responsibilities here, which you ably have undertaken. We all congratulate you, certainly, and look good things for you, but we also look at that unique ability to transcend and to incorporate and to do what you do. And we all stop and ponder for a moment. And it stops and makes us say, and to wonder as we applaud and say, thank you for that service and what you have done for this utility and for this community. We are genuinely appreciative. And as for the very best, I hope we'll hear from you again. Don't go too far that we can't say hello. So, and as for the insights as to the My Meter and the customer service experiences that we've had, it gives me heart to see them lift it just a little bit to get closer to, I think, what could be a more responsive effort that we need to have. I still live in a different world, I guess, from many that are here and that we have the technological challenges, and there's nothing like having a direct contact, the lobby contact. And I'm saying this because I continue to hope that we look back and go back a little bit, pardon the vernacular, but I'm more old school than I am as we move into the bright new future of embracing our ability to navigate online for the meter and to have a better experience and even gauging our own energy audits. Wow, what a fantastic, brave new world. And still understand that the needs of our community are often as simple as a quick knock on the glass or the window. And I challenge some of the board and the staff to just spend a day or an afternoon, an hour, 2 hours, monitoring how many people come who haven't called, how many people are still needing to have that direct assistance, and to just, for a while, try to reach out and include all of these, that inclusion is better for our image as we do great things with the technology that we have in front of us to just open or expand the lobby for just a while. Even if you want to shut it down later, let's just try. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I also would like to thank everybody for the presentations this evening. And Patrice, you will be missed. That's all I'm going to say. You will be missed. And I might say that I've been invited by the mayor. The mayor's going to have a public officials forum October. He's rescheduled it for October the 9th at the community college. It's a Saturday, 9 to 11. I've been invited to be one of the officials, the sheriff, the district attorney. There's a whole list of all the public officials that are going to be included in this forum. So it's Saturday, October 9th, 9 o'clock at the community college. So it's a reschedule of the one that he had previously. So,
Mr. President, October 9th is a Wednesday. Is it the 12th?
Okay, I might have the date wrong.
No, that's okay. I just.
Hold
I
on,
know
let me see. I just off the top of my head, I was just bringing that up. Let's see here. Oops.
And while you're checking, Mr. President, whatever that date, checking with Ms. Lawson, or just to get the, while you're checking the date, in terms of how many of us might have attended, it's an open meeting, but
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, if 4 or more are going to attend, we should notice it. So if you think you're gonna attend, or I'm not sure if there'll be a live or a Zoom component, but let us know if you're gonna attend ahead of time, and Nick can put out, just all it would take is a simple notice that you'll be in attendance so that the public is aware.
Okay. It's a public official town hall on October the 19th. 10 days off.
Whoa.
October the 19th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Performing Arts Center. Okay. So, all right. Now that we've got that straightened out, that's all I have. Yes.
President, can I interrupt before you adjourn?
Yes.
So just send a text message, remind that there has been a request of BPU to take a My Meter demonstration presentation out to livable neighborhoods. So that'll probably be a first stop in our efforts. I would imagine we'll probably go to other neighborhood meetings too at some point to help the public better understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how to better use this product.
Wow.
Good. Okay, good. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wait a second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Groneman,
Aye.
Haley,
aye.
Wakes,
Aye.
Mulvaney Henry,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
That motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
You're